Tormented Souls, developed by Dual Effect and published by P-Cube, released on the 27th of August 2021 on PS5 and PC. Now, if you've seen my impressions video, you'd know I was beyond excited to get my hands on this release. Unfortunately, I was lucky enough to get a review copy, meaning I got to start the game 5 days earlier than general release. Now, after finishing the game, I feel the need to update you all on how it fared. Does it rise to its inspirations? Or does it fall short? Now, this review will be spoiler free, and any footage shown will be from early sections of the game. As I received a copy from the publisher, it leaves me with my own pre-order spare. I want to give you the chance to win it. You'll find a link to the competition in the description below, so good luck. Now, if you're enjoying my content, then don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It all helps me find a larger audience and grow. Now, this review, as with all my others, will be split into plot, gameplay and presentation. Now let's dive in. Tormented Souls finds us in control of Caroline Walker, a woman minding her own business until she receives a letter in the post that causes her Professor X levels of migraine. Now, instead of checking herself in for an MRI, she decides to investigate the source of the picture at Winter Lake Hospital. What follows is a really engaging story. Told through the various files across the game, you'll gradually piece together the mystery of what happened to the twin girls, a dark religion focused on reviving a demonic savior, and the family drama at the center of it all. The cast of characters physically in the game is low, mainly just a priest and Caroline, but the files bring to life the wider cast into a really cohesive narrative. Across the approximately 11-hour runtime, you'll experience twists and turns which, for the most part, are fairly obvious, but the ones that you don't see coming will leave a lasting impact. The influences drawn from Silent Hill and Tormented Souls' plot are obvious, but regardless of its lack of originality, it doesn't take away from what Dual Effect achieved here in making this cast of characters come to life from the page right into your mind's eye. Tormented Souls seeks to bring back classic survival horror, but what is that? Now let's take a look at a definition. Fandom states, survival horror is a subgenre of action-adventure video games that emphasizes vulnerability, resource management, and puzzle solving in a horror-themed environment. Games in the genre often have a Metroidvania style of progression, and also make use of horror tropes common to cinema, such as fixed cameras. Personally, I think that's pretty bang on. It describes RE1 to a T, which, in my mind, is the epitome of the genre. So does Tormented Souls deliver on this promise? Yeah. And no. Let me explain. Tormented Souls follows the same blueprint laid out in Resident Evil 1. You're presented with a goal. That goal requires 3 objects. To find them, you need to explore the environment, solving puzzles to gain items which will open up extra areas, which then uncover new items to solve earlier puzzles. The brilliance in this design is how seamless it all feels. You're constantly driven to push on deeper into the environment, uncovering more and more roadblocks which ultimately will need to be solved. It's extremely clever how areas which you've traversed through time and time again get new meaning with an extra item in hand that you've discovered in some far-flung area many hours later. It's here that Tormented Souls really shines. The puzzles are genius. Fusing styles from Resident Evil, Silent Hill, and Alone in the Dark, it really brought me back to my early years playing through the classics in the genre. I had my wife glued to my side as we sat and pondered through different solutions to the puzzles. Some took us all of 5 minutes, while others took literal hours to solve, swapping theories and trying to break down the method behind the puzzle. Was it logic-based? Did we miss a key bit of information in the document? Or is there some item we're missing? It's hardly ever obvious. There's no hand-holding throughout any of these puzzles. It leaves you to stew on your own stupidity, and when you finally crack it, the elation is indescribable. This same lack of direction is evident across the entire game. The map doesn't have a compass or a waypoint. Instead, you need to look at the names of the rooms on signs which are outside of them, and then figure out your own position and the route to take from there all on your own. The map also doesn't update, so if you're hoping to see where you left an item or a puzzle, you can forget about it. Tormented Souls not only expects you to use your grey matter, it requires it. Now, in terms of exploration and goal setting, the priest acts as your guide, And for the most part, it's fairly easy to figure out where to go and what to do next. But for someone who's never experienced a game in the genre before, this certainly isn't the place to start. Hell, for as versed as I am, even I came to a point where I literally had no idea how to move forward. I was forced to reach out to another reviewer to find out how to progress. And when I got the solution, I didn't feel like, I can't believe it was that. I knew I never would have thought of it. It's truly old school in this way. It reminded me so much of the experiences I had as a child with gaming. I remember being in the prison cell in Metal Gear Solid and having to phone up my friend's older brother to find out how to break out with only a bottle of ketchup. It's truly a breath of fresh air mixed with a heavy dose of nostalgia, and I love it. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't do everything right. When I described the blueprint of classic survival horror, there is one thing I left out which binds the entire experience together: combat. Combat and lack thereof is extremely important. It's here that choice is given. Do you engage and use your items which you may need later for a bigger challenge, or do you run and leave routes which will need to be visited later dangerous? Do you blind fire when the enemy is off screen to preserve space and keep yourself safe from damage, but potentially shoot nothing but air? Here in Tormented Souls, it makes two fatal mistakes which damage the potential this game has. Firstly, resources are extremely common. I never found myself at any point in the entire game short on ammunition. I killed literally every enemy I came across and always had at least a clip of ammunition in my nail gun and 10 rounds of the shotgun. I never died across the entire game, not once. I always had ample heals to never feel any threat from engaging in combat, and to be honest, you hardly ever even need to engage. The game has auto-aiming. Now, in games like Code Veronica, this works excellently. The range when it kicks in is usually within spitting distance of a threat. It's enough to stave off frustration with the camera angles, but not enough to give you an advantage. Here, in Tormented Souls, you can laser in on any enemy from seemingly any range. This is what typically happens. You enter a room, hear an enemy from off screen, the music blares, you shoot blindly, the noise dissipates, and you move on. It's a real tension killer. There's no choice. There's no concern, the combat's just something you engage with, and is neither satisfying or boring. It's just there. Now, in saying this, there is one scenario which you encounter a few times in the game where the combat actually works, and that's in darkness. In Tormented Souls, you'll often be traversing areas with nothing but a lighter, and with the absence of light, you can't fire your weapons, and so you're forced to find candelabras and use the lighter to create a little safety pocket so you can let loose on an enemy. These moments, when you're being chased in the dark trying to find one, are exceptional. It's a fantastic idea, utilised excellently. It's just a shame it doesn't happen more throughout the game. Now let's get the obvious out of the way here. Just like I said in my impressions video, Tormented Souls uses a dynamic camera like Silent Hill or Code Veronica. It's a great approach which you'll in fact have fun with, tracking the player in some really unique ways to show scale or to create a feeling of claustrophobia. Now this is combined with some of the best sound design in recent memory. Areas are brought to life with haunting themes, enemies have their own memorable sound palette to inform you of the threat ahead before you even lay eyes on them. And the save room theme is up there with some of the best in Resident Evil. It's incredible. With the camera and sound covered, the only thing left is visuals. And for the most part, the game looks decent. Nothing worthy of PlayStation 5 or hell, even PS4. It looks like a PS3 game. But with the budget this team had, I can't fault it for that. They do wonders with what they've got. The lighting is excellent, and the environments are uniquely designed to never feel samey, which, given the game takes place in one location, it could have easily fallen into. Now, there's one place which is beyond saving, and that's the performances. Voice acting is limited to 2 characters, Caroline and the priest, and to be honest, that's enough. It's not so bad it's funny, it's just bad. Like, painfully bad.
And my eye had been removed. Why? Why would someone do such a thing?
God. Do I need to say more? A few puns and leaning into how bad it really is would have at least made this memey, but actually trying to make it palatable, was a mistake. It's shocking in 2021 to walk back to the early 2000s in terms of quality, and for what I've showed here, just know it gets worse. Just wait till the end boss. You've been warned. Tormented Souls was a joy to play. It seeks out to recapture classic survival horror, and for the most part, it's a success. The puzzles and general exploration are incredible. The plot, albeit not unique, is good enough to carry the game, and the presentation and sound do a great job immersing you into the world. It's just a shame resource management and combat are overlooked. If this had been tweaked, it would have opened up an extra layer to the gameplay experience, which would have catapulted it up there with some of the greats in the genre. Now, if you enjoy classic survival horror, there's something here for you. For anyone else, it's not the best place to start, and is certainly not on the same level as its influences. I just hope the team get another crack at this. I think that with a sequel they can build on everything they've learned here, and improve upon it to create a game which will stand shoulder to shoulder with the best in the genre. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then put a like on it, comment your thoughts on the game. I'd love to hear your opinions on this. I try to respond to everyone, so I really look forward to hearing from you. Remember, if you want to win my copy of the game on PlayStation 5, then enter the competition. You can find it in the description, and I'll put it as the pinned comment. And finally, consider subscribing to the channel. I'm currently working through the Resident Evil spin-off series, so I'd love to see you back here again. Thank you for your time. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. See ya.